Hello, this is Lego Batman. I'm here to review my own movie because I am just too awesome, and I don't think Tom Richardson could do a good enough review of my own movie.
Man, get out of here. It's my review. Get out right now.
No, it's my review. They can't even see me because I'm just that awesome.
Hey, get out of here. I'm reviewing it. Get out of here. Shoo. Shoo. Move. Get out of here. We'll save Gotham City. Hey guys, welcome to my new movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about the Lego Batman movie, as my little skit at the beginning has introduced. So in this Lego Batman movie, you guys, this is a spin-off to the 2014 film, The Lego Movie. And this film, focuses primarily on Batman. We do get other characters from the Lego Movie in this movie, like Lego Superman, Lego Green Lantern. We do get like Lego Wonder Woman, Lego Flash, and all of them, but they don't really do as much as they did in that first Lego Movie. So in this movie, you guys, as far as the plot goes, everybody loves Batman. He manages to save Gotham City from not only the Joker, but from almost every Batman villain there is at the beginning of the movie. They all team up. Batman, ruins their plan of taking over Gotham City. But while he's celebrating by himself and while the city is celebrating Batman, Batman unknowingly adopts a young orphan named Dick Grayson, who is, later becomes Robin in the Batman universe. At this point, he's just a child. He really doesn't, he needs somebody to take care of him. He needs a father figure in his life, and Batman's just not ready for it because he's just too busy taking care of himself. He's kind of unwilling to grow up. And, Alfred's been trying to teach him to, get outside his comfort zone and be able to be around other people and to start his own family and so forth. So Batman at first really isn't too comfortable with this. But while this is going on, while the Joker's in Arkham Asylum, he learns about the Phantom Zone. And the Phantom Zone is something that's used in the Superman stories, the Superman comics, I think even the Superman films as well. And he finds out, this is a place that's kind of a little bit like the afterlife, but it stores like villains. They go there when they're like being punished and taking away from reality and so forth. So I'm pretty sure this is where General Zod went in the Superman movies before he showed up for Superman 2. So the Joker learns about this. He decides to take advantage of this. And because this film takes place in the Lego world, not only is there DC comic characters and DC comic places, we get other characters outside of DC Comics like Sauron from Lord of the Rings, and King Kong is in this, a Lego King Kong, Lego Voldemort from Harry Potter, so a lot of other different villains from other different film universes and other stories that the Lego toy has the rights to. So basically the Joker recruits all these people. So not only does Batman have to face all those earlier DC comic villains all over again, he now has to deal with like Lego King Kong and the Lego Loch Ness Monster and Lego Voldemort and Lego Sauron and all these other characters that he's never faced before. And he still has to learn how to be a father figure. He's still struggling to do this. But luckily for him, Barbara Gordon, who's the daughter of Jim Gordon, is the new commissioner of Gotham City. And for those who know more about her, she later becomes Batgirl in the comics. And so that becomes very relevant in this movie when she wants to help Batman out with taking care of all these villains. So there's a lot that happens in this film, and so not only does Batman need to learn how to be a better hero, he needs to be more appreciative of the people around him and take on all these villains and learn how to be a father. So there's a lot on his plate in the Lego Batman movie. So overall, guys, I really enjoyed this movie. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as the first Lego movie. I think the first Lego movie was a little bit more creative, in my opinion. I was more invested in those characters in that first film. And I also thought on a creative level, I thought the first Lego movie was a little bit more creative. I thought they did way more than I thought they were going to, like have live action segments and, think of clever ways to incorporate like Taco Tuesday and all these things that you would never expect to see in like a Lego movie and so forth. So, and I also think there's more things about the Lego movie that I think people are going to catch on to and remember more than what happened in the Lego Batman movie, to be honest. At least that's my opinion. This is just an opinion that occurred on the opening weekend of the Lego Batman movie that I think will carry on in later weeks as this film gets older and, more people see it and so forth. So, but for my positives and negatives of the Lego Batman movie, I liked how it glorified and celebrated all the times and ages of the Batman era. It celebrated his serials from the black and white era, the Adam West Batman era, the Michael Keaton Batman era, the Joel Schumacher one, the Christopher Nolan one, and now the Zack Snyder Batman. Almost every era of Batman is celebrated in some way, shape, or form. And if it's a bad Batman era, the film definitely acknowledges that. And unfortunately, it kind of acknowledges that with the Zack Snyder Batman movies, and it even acknowledges the Suicide Squad and kind of how it's silly to have all these villains out about doing what a hero should do. They completely acknowledge that in this movie. So like I said, they glorify and celebrate almost every era of Batman you can imagine, which is really cool because if you're old or young or right in the middle-aged, more than likely the Batman that you grew up with or are more familiar with is celebrated in some way, shape, or form in this Lego Batman movie. I also like how this film has a ton of knowledge about Batman, and specifically Batman in the media. Small things like whenever Alfred helped Batman and Robin out in the Batman TV show in the Adam West era, he dressed up in his own Batman outfit, and he gets to wear that outfit in this movie. So not only is that a nod to the 1960s Batman film, it also acknowledges that that's what Alfred would do when he would help Batman and Robin out in the TV show. He would dress up in his own Batman outfit. So I like how they had definitely a lot of knowledge about Batman in general. Robin temporarily becoming Nightwing when he has to work by himself, when he doesn't have Batman's help at all. Just small little nods and details like that I really appreciate in this film, because it's quite clear that these filmmakers involved with this movie had a lot of knowledge about Batman and Batman in the media. I also liked the narrative of this movie.
I liked how Will Arnett always talked about himself and the Batman character in these narrations.
There was clever little things like that I thought Will Arnett did very well in this movie. So I liked the Batman narrative of this movie. I also like how they went with a more childish Robin. I like how Robin wasn't really established yet in this DC comic Lego universe yet. I like how they kind of gave him his origin story within this movie. I also liked how they made him more so a child than an adult. So I liked how this is a younger Robin than what we're familiar with. So this is younger than the Chris O'Donnell Robin we saw in the Joel Schumacher Batman era and so forth. So I like how they went with the younger Robin, because that way it could really make Batman feel like a father figure when things are going right. I also like the quick and fun little humor that this film had, definitely in the spirit of the first Lego movie. Whenever the jokes hit, they really hit hard. I was with an audience in this film whenever there was a really funny joke, you can tell everybody was laughing at it because it was that effective as a joke. So huge thumbs up to that. I love the quick and fun humor of this movie. And like I was mentioning earlier, I like how this film definitely continues that Lego movie spirit, the humor and the way it's told, and how it's not afraid to break the fourth wall and so forth. I like how it definitely continues that Lego movie spirit. I also like how this film explores the flaws of Batman. Rosario Dawson's interpretation of Batgirl in this movie makes the point at one point that Batman really never has completely stopped a villain. These villains are always finding ways of coming back and finding ways of breaking out of Arkham Asylum and so forth. So she makes the point that it's almost unsafe to let Batman be the vigilante of Gotham, because these villains are always finding ways of coming back and haunting Gotham again. So what's the point of having Batman if they keep coming back and doing these awful things again? So I like how the film definitely explores the flaws of Batman that we really haven't considered yet, and it does it in a way that feels refreshing for the Batman character. For my negatives of the Lego Batman movie, some of the jokes are pretty much hit and miss at some points in this movie. Like I said, some of the jokes really hit hard and they really work well, but there's other jokes in this film that I think really kind of miss the target pretty badly. There's just times where I feel like it's trying to be the Lego movie again, and it just really doesn't quite know how to do it again. And I think that's also because Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who directed the first Lego movie, were only involved as producers in this film. They didn't write this film or direct it. So it's obviously some of the jokes already right there, regardless of who else they hire, are probably not going to hit as hard as well as that first Lego movie did. Another negative I have with this movie, I thought overall on a creative level, it just wasn't quite as creative as that first Lego movie. I thought the first Lego movie really did a lot of interesting things as far as creativity went. It showed characters and did things with characters that I really thought that first film was never going to do. The Lego Batman movie definitely has characters like Lego King Kong and so forth that I wasn't expecting to see in this movie, but it just wasn't quite as creative as that first Lego movie. My last negative of this movie is there really wasn't much of a surprise. I wasn't as surprised as that first Lego movie did, where they really kind of acknowledged how to make a proper Lego movie. They definitely made another good Lego movie here, but nothing about it really surprised me. As far as how the humor was handled and so forth, I guess. I really wanted to leave the theater feeling surprised about what I just witnessed with certain things, and I don't know if they just went with a plot that I'm familiar with or something like that. I really don't know, but I would have liked to have felt more surprised with this film. And unfortunately, that surprise never really came to be as I was watching the movie. So overall, I'm going to give the Lego Batman movie an 8.5 out of 10. It's a very good movie. If you love Batman, if you loved the first Lego movie, you'll have a lot of fun with this movie. But go into this film knowing that it's not quite on that same level of creativity and humor as that first Lego movie was, but it's still a ton of fun to be had. It's really not much of a surprise, like I mentioned from my last negative, but it's a ton of fun. If you like I said, if you love Batman or Legos, I think you'll have a lot of fun with the movie.